Israel-Palestine conflict. Thanks to social media, a great deal of information about the history, reasons, and horrific losses in the Israeli battle against Hamas has been disseminated throughout the world, eliciting outrage. Additionally, it has demonstrated to the world that Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people is supported by the so-called international community, which includes the US and European countries. Additionally, it has revealed how the international community manipulates, subjugates, or coerces the media into inventing news, and how those journalists and anchors who refuse to give in to their pressure end up fired. Another development in this battle is the perception of the UN as corrupt, given the large number of its bureaucrats and policymakers coming from the multinational business sector, which collaborates with strong Zionist lobbying. It is therefore not surprising that business companies gave Israel almost $2 billion to assist its fight against Hamas as soon as the war broke out. Additionally, Israeli politicians, civic society, and media have publicly utilized biblical tales for the first time to defend the Zionist occupation of Palestine and the slaughter of Palestinian women and children. The Old Testament claims that Moses commanded the Israelites to slaughter women and children for more than 70 years. This has been Israeli policy throughout the Arab-Israeli conflict. A number of other war-related concerns have also come to light. One of these concerns is the abundant supply of gas and oil on the Levantine coast, which Israel is eager to exploit off the coast of Gaza. Deeply rooted in Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq, the oil is the source of conflict in these regions. Israel also wants to build a replacement for the Suez Canal, which is Egypt's main source of income, or it wants to control the canal itself. These facts make it safe to declare that the UN is dead, as it is unable to enforce its own human rights charter, and to stop or even restrict an illegal war or occupation of another nation. Its destiny is starting to resemble that of the League of Nations, 1920-1946, which was destroyed by a global war. A regional or global conflict might quickly arise due to the U.S. aircraft carriers stationed in the eastern Mediterranean, ongoing threats to the nations in the area, and the strong anti-U.S. and anti-Israel sentiment prevalent in the Middle East. A ceasefire is what hundreds of thousands of youth are calling for. Thanks to social media and a successful Palestinian media campaign, hundreds of millions of young people worldwide are now aware of these concerns and are calling for a ceasefire and Palestine's independence. Understanding these individuals and the motivations behind their protests is crucial. By all estimates, the Z and millennial generations make up the majority of them. They have been taught to respect freedom of choice, to love people and the environment, and to treat all races equally, regardless of color. Not only should their professors be commended, but also those who spearheaded the environmental movements and the fight for human rights throughout the 1960s and 1970s. A new world has emerged, and these movements, even if they fizzle out due to protest weariness, will undoubtedly resurface. These movements are also a reaction to the welfare state's failure and the younger generation's need for a cause, since they are currently experiencing escalating misery under a global economic fascist regime. Numerous anchors have compared the current situation in Gaza to the Algerian War against the French, 1950–1962. The crammed neighborhoods and winding passageways of Algiers' Kasbah gave rise to a rebellion against the French in 1956, which cost them a great deal of soldiers and allies. The movement was brutally put down by collecting up those who were thought to be its followers and carrying out summary executions. After effectively suppressing the movement for a year and a half, the Algerian National Liberation Front publicly submitted, but it reappeared in 1957–1958 in a stronger form than previously, and Algeria became independent in 1962. Many commentators believe that Hamas will emerge from obscurity stronger than ever, with its liberation warriors being the men and women who have witnessed the murder of their friends, family, and children. There is no longer any link between the pro-Israeli regimes and their constituents. It is quite probable that a new universe of conflict and optimism is beginning to emerge on the planet.